What's Gucci? This is your boy Symmetry, aka Trip CCC, Big Daddy CCC. Yes, Poppy. We're already here. You know what it is. We've already been everywhere. We've already been nowhere. And honestly, we're just gonna make more places to go, more spaces. We got a lot of cars popping off here. I'm in LA. I have a place in LA. Weird ass turn of events out of nowhere. So turn it into an art studio. We got basically this whole school popping off. All right, we got a whole online school. Like the world is doing my work for me. Believe that. And so I'm doing my fair share of a lot. Big Virgo mode, big Hermit mode. Um, so again, I know like stockpiling your questions. I've just been working. Goddamn, so much. So and working includes proper relaxation too. We're not talking like working and then okay, I'm done working, so let me go work on something else, right? Like this. Okay. Dear Thoth, why are people so scared to die? I understand not everyone has the positive relationship with death that I do, but it's astounding how people get too scared to even talk about it when I bring it up. Yeah, fair. What's up with that? Does it have to do with how death is used as the ultimate negative consequence in all movies and books? I mean, that's a pretty, I was going to say an obvious connection, but like, not to demean that person at all. Not obvious. Uh, just very important. Like, it is obvious, but it's like very important to realize the fact that we have been raised. Uh, Everyone I know personally has been raised on stories where death is a really negative thing. And negative is in like bad, like it's the end of those stories. I am right by this highway. It's lit. All these stories happening right now. Every individual in some fucking thing that seems like it is the most important thing in the world all the time because it is, because it's their perspective and it's teamwork making the dream work. It's just a shame because the same government that is making people scared of death has convinced them to kill themselves with cars every day. And that's really what we're getting down to. And we're talking about why people are scared of death. White supremacy. Literally, it's the opposite of indigenous spirituality, where most indigenous peoples understood all the stands and seats and floats in between, that we die every day. That death is not an end, it's a transformation, right? That's like in Black Panther and shit. Well, death is not the end, but a stepping off point type shit or whatever. Um, it's just that Drake and all these rappers, white supremacist agents of the system, doesn't matter what color they are. If they're pushing the idea of YOLO, if they're pushing the idea that you only live once, that somehow this is your first and last life in the human body, then you are automatically scared of death. So that's to answer the question shortly, why people would be so scared of death. Because they are generally being told that they've never lived before. And they don't have the awareness to know that as a spirit, they create bodies to express themselves. And that everything comes out of nothing. Everything is either light or darkness, aka thoughts or feelings. And these two energies are fused together in infinite numbers of ways. Boom. That's all the number stuff I talk about. As far as two being life, thought and feeling coming together. And then three, that air being the expression of the spirit that brought those thoughts and feelings together. So all of reality, it doesn't matter where you are in any universe, all the universe, either the observable or unobservable universe, your universe, it's going to require thoughts and feelings coming together to create life. If you just have one, you don't have life, right? That's what we see. So this is important for death because people, when they don't know that they create bodies so that they can gain experiences through lifetimes infinitely, then they are going to purposely be trapped in a situation where it's almost like they're spiritually choosing to be scared of death, because you can't make people see what they almost don't want to see. Because this is like basic, in my opinion. It didn't used to be basic though. It only started getting basic when I started fasting and everything. So this is what we're talking about as far as not eating lies from the world, light from the world, and instead actually meditating and doing what Jesus did in the Bible so that you can get real information from outside the simulation. Because for some reason, most people are scared of death, but they're so scared of it. And this is what this person's talking about, where it's like they can't even talk about it, right? Like they can't even broach the topic. I've met these kinds of people. I mean, it doesn't matter what age they are. Hell, like hello, older people are like somehow avoidant of the topic of death. Um, so when we're talking about an outside the simulation reason, I'm about to give you like the big spiritual reason. Um, it's because anyone who's scared of death is scared of being alone. Anybody who is scared of death is scared of being alone, and thus they are clinging to this light construct that is their body because it's the only thing anchoring them to this all one realm, to a world where they don't have to be alone, so they can constantly share their thoughts and feelings with other individuals. And that would be why people want to live forever, or at least live for as long as possible, and that's the yellow shit. Especially if they're convinced that they never lived before, they're like permanently cut off, not permanently, but like they're cut off from a large chunk of their subconscious, because their logic, the light of one life, they only have one life, that light is so bright that it's blinding all the other lives that their spirit is trying to show them. So if you actually want to not be scared of death or anything, you would have to meditate, stop eating light from the world, and start eating light from your spirit, so that the spirit, your God, the infinite source of nothingness, your zero that is you, can send you the right individual thoughts and feelings for your journey. Because whatever world you're in, I mean, unless it's my world, I mean, this world got taken over. And that's kind of the point with colonialism and shit. Um, Most worlds you're in, a world that's interested in trapping you is only going to give you thoughts that will lead you back to it. So a big thing, like when people die and they're like, "Oh, gotta go to the light," uh, don't, don't. In fact, we're about to break that down real quick, because literally, and I think I've said this before, but when we're talking about death, it does come down to light and darkness. So when people are scared to die, right? They're scared to fly, they're scared to transform from one body to another, from one simulation construct to another, because all they know, all like their whole mind, for whatever reason in that lifetime, is only developed awareness in that body and in ideas that anchor it to that realm. So that's where then that person is about to not want to leave, because they can't imagine that there's a universe outside. They can't even imagine being a creator. That's where everyone, but hella people, lots of people worship this concept of God, when they don't realize that they themselves are the God giving their power away to another God, and that we are all nothing spirits creating infinity together with all the concepts I'm talking about. So people who are scared to die, scared to fly, to transform, are clinging to light. And for whatever reason they're clinging to this light, that is their motivation from the darkness. So when we look at Earth and why so many people are willing to like support the rape, genocide, enslavement, and brutalization of indigenous peoples every single day, um, it's because they would rather be here than be alone. For whatever reason, whatever soul darkness internal reasons that we can't know about, because that's their invisible feeling water realm, their fire and water realm. Um, because of that, they would rather be here than with themselves. And that's where shit gets dangerous. This is where like I don't need to like get long in this video or whatever. Just really be careful who you hang out with. Cause I especially saw that in art school where I'm like I'm spending time with hella people and doing all this social stuff and it's cool. But especially as I started fasting, especially. But even before that, uh, I was starting to see how it was really coming, and people would just talk about it openly too, because people want to be understood that they hate being alone, and that everyone like they have all these friends, but it's not out of a place of genuine, authentic friendship. It's out of a place of fear of wanting to be alone, and then that's where the toxicity comes in, because it's like if you can't be alone with yourself, why should I be alone with you? And then, furthermore, if you can't be alone with yourself, then why am I letting you use me to not be alone with yourself? And what are you running from? And then that's where, if you spend time with people who don't like being alone, you'll see what they're running from, bro. And that has to come out through time because it's all about feelings. The whole point of logic and light is that it anchors feelings. So all of life is feeling. You're an awesome person whoever asked this question. And everyone watching who was like, hey, I have the same question or whatever. Because yeah, death all about feeling. And if you feel scared versus you feel excited, um, you're gonna be on two different sides of death. If you're scared of death, then you're not in control of it. So now you feel like death is in control of you. And thus, anyone who seemingly can control death can control you. And that's what you're dealing with here as far as like not being able to talk to people about death. Because I'm sure you're like, you want to talk about death, bro? I like talking about death. I don't know how much you're really into death. But as far as, I mean, it is really uncomfortable for most people because that's the point. Um, but that's like a lot of power. You might be a Scorpio for real. I'm not super into all the zodiac stuff. That's just like in general. I know like Scorpio is like fixed water, so it likes to sting people. So you have probably like your own imagination and feelings about death, right? And you like to like hit that with people. Um, so like whatever, for sure. Like then Scorpio is a very wise sign. I'm pretty sure Bruce Lee was a Scorpio. My guy. So that's where when we're talking about yeah, death, it's literally uncomfortable because feelings are uncomfortable. And that's the whole point of why we like to create thoughts that anchor in feelings that we're comfortable with. Because just feeling in general is uncomfortable, right? Like we see all the stories, like as many stories as there are about being scared of death, so many are about being scared of feelings. And it's the same thing. Being scared of ultimately the feminine energy, because we are living in a white supremacist, toxic, masculine time in the last 2021 years at least, right? Because the whole point of resetting the calendar was to show a new reign of rule over the world. And that new reign of rule relies on people being scared of death so that those governments can trap people on virtual reality. That's what I'm back mainly for, because virtual reality is about to be wild. So if you think people are scared of death now, right? Like we already see the shows, predictive programming with all that. Black Mirror. There's this other show called Upload that's like about someone in a self-driving car. The car naturally gets hacked because most shows I see about self-driving cars, the cars get hacked. It's like they're just laughing in your face about taking more control away from you and then making you more scared of death in that way. Yeah, that's wild. So whatever. As far as virtual reality is concerned, we see it a lot. Where Westworld, that's more AI and stuff. The idea of taking your consciousness and putting it on a computer instead of going back to your soul, like whoa. So there are people who are so scared of their souls, they don't want to be alone so badly that they, as spirits, come into the simulation and spend all their energy figuring out how to use the technology inside the light world that they're in, which must expire because all light must expire. But they would rather run from their darkness into this light because, again, whatever internal reasons that we can't fully know. And that's where the strong desire to live forever on technology, on an internet, comes from. Because it's all about, yes, that running away from your darkness and choosing to stay comfortable in light. So, to wrap this up, people are scared of death because they want to be comfortable in light. They're trained to be scared of their souls. And just FYI, when you die, you yourself are light. You yourself are the seven. And it's important for you to take your seven into your eight, which is your soul. That's your darkness. Don't take your seven back into a different light, which would in this case be the six. And that would be the simulation sort of world, or the 5-6, the world that you came from. When you see that light in front of you, like when you die, for it's just hypothetical for most people. You see that light in front of you, that's the star, planet, light construct simulation that you already just came from. That simulation, depending on how lost it got you in religions or whatever specific, will use whatever enticing light it can to get you to come back. So that's where it's your responsibility to love yourself so much that you have your own light. And when you leave that world, you don't want to go back. And now you want to take your light into your soul. And that's where you would pull a 180 degrees, 90, and turn around to go into the darkness. And that darkness is on the way to your spirit. Because darkness is the truest expression of spirit. Light is like what spirit wants to be. Light is where spirit is comfortable. Light is what darkness looks like, right? Like, if we think of darkness being emotions, happiness, one emotion. Infinite ways that happiness can look. Like, there's no shortage, right?